All right, so session 4 of our Qigong, we're going to add what we call a major yin organ to our exercise called the lungs. So we have 5 major yin organs. There are actually 6, but 2 of them are usually work together. So one that's most important is going to be the lungs, because that's building your immune system. Especially during this time, it's very important to have strong lungs, and it also linked to the breathing is the lungs, of course. So the lungs are responsible for keeping your immune system strong. It includes not the lungs, it's only the lungs, but it also includes the nose, the throat, the pores on your skin, the hair on your skin, etc., and the whole respiratory system. Okay, so when we talk about the lungs, we're really talking about the whole respiratory system. And as I said before, we can even breathe in through the pores of our skin and stimulate the lung energy that way. So we're going to be experimenting with that with this one. Okay, just different types of breathing and how do you feel and how it works. So first of all, I'll show you the movement. So this is the lung exercise. We begin in the Wuji position. I'm going to bring the hands up in front of the chest. Relax. So you want to have your shoulders relaxed, your elbows down, and your hands facing the number 1 points on the lung are here on the top of the chest. So we'll turn the palms down, and without changing the shape of your arm, imagine that you're pulling your elbows back to touch a back wall. Now, let your chest come out and forward. So you feel your shoulder blades coming tight together. Good, good. And turn your palms up now, keeping your hands at the height of your shoulders. Bring your elbows together. So lead with your elbows. That's it. Don't touch them. Just bring them close, and then let your hands come very close. So we're about here, and then you'll turn them down without touching. Don't touch them. And then again, we'll repeat that. So hands down, expand the chest. The back is quite arched. As your chest moves forward, your hands go back. And as your hands come forward, your chest will drop down. You'll see this happening here, drop down. And your shoulder blades are opening up, okay? So you're moving from the thoracic vertebrae. Open the chest. Close the chest. Palms face the ground. Lead the baby finger back, the elbow back. Turn the palms up to the ceiling, bring the elbow forward and the baby fingers forward and together without touching, okay? So now you can just breathe naturally. Pay attention to how you breathe as you do the movement. Try not to raise the shoulders or elbows. So when you're going back here, try not to lift this up like so. So keep it relaxed, keep your shoulders down. So it's just your hands gliding along at shoulder height, your elbows are down. Okay? Very, very relaxed. Almost like you're treading water, yeah? In the water, good, that's nice. Okay, so that's the upper body. The lower body, it's a little more tricky. So we've got the feet shoulder width apart. You can imagine if you sit down naturally into a chair without pushing your knees again. Now just let your pelvis sit down naturally. So you're relaxed. It's like you're on a chair. Then you're going to stand up. But to stand up, what you're going to do is you're going to tuck tuck your sacrum underneath the body like that. And squeeze your thighs together gently and come up. So when you sit down, like that, you're going to tuck this under, squeeze your thighs, and come up. Yes?
A little scooping?
A little scooping, that's right. Yeah, a little scooping. So your pelvis is kind of inclined forward from here. And the tail is up a little bit. Then you put your tail between your legs. You squeeze your thighs gently. That's right. Can you feel it lifting you up? And when you drop this down, it'll drop you down. And when you tuck your tail, it'll lift you up. Good. So that's the leg movement. Let's put that together with the hand movement. So when you open, you'll be sitting down, tail back and up. Relax completely. To stand up, we'll squeeze, tuck the tail, roll the palms up, squeeze and stand up gently. Good. Sit down. Squeeze, stand up. Now relax. Pay attention to your natural breathing. And how you feel. Now we're going to pay a little more attention to the breath. And this breath, generally this movement uses the natural breathing, long and deep, which means, again, you're going to expand your abdomen. And your abdomen's going to, and remember we did this in the beginning, you said you were feeling this fill up, but the chest also was filling up. Okay, so we breathe into here and then let the chest expand secondary. That brings a lot of, this action here is massaging the lung tissues back and forth, opening and closing. It's like a little massage for your lungs. And we're also filling right up from the dantian. Okay, the lungs and large intestine work together. So the expansion into dantian will move qi through the lower bowel, and then the inhalation up into the chest will massage the chest tissues. Okay, so let's try it with the breathing. Relax. Begin, inhale into your lower abdomen. Raise the hands. Okay, we're going to sit down, open the chest, and then we're going to turn the palms up. You're going to squeeze. This will be your exhale, coming forward. Okay, so it's like you're squeezing everything out of your lungs, right? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, feel your abdomen expanding, filling up. Exhale, abdomen pulls in, tuck your tail underneath, and you'll feel everything channeled forward here. So when you relax and you inhale, your abdomen expands, you sit, it's sink. When you squeeze, you come up and moving forward. So the energy will come all the way to your fingertips. And then from your fingertips, it will travel down your arms to your feet. See if you can feel that. Sink to your feet, squeeze to your fingers. Good. Sink to your feet, inhale. Exhale to your fingertips. Now see how you feel. Compare that to however you were breathing the first time without paying attention to the breath. Okay, so then we're going to bring the hands to face lower dantian to finish. Pay attention to how the body feels, how your breathing is, and how the mind is. And then you'll end up back in the Wuji to finish. Okay, so that's how the exercise is generally done. What it does is it gently stimulates and tonifies the lung and all of its systems. Okay, so if the lungs are weak, that's a great thing, right? It'll help to strengthen them. It deepens your breath. So that's the normal practice that we do. Or sometimes we want to clear things out of the lungs. Okay, so it's said that grief gets stuck in the lungs. And when grief gets stuck in the lungs, we have stagnation, and breathing problems will occur from that grief being stagnant in the lungs. We need to get it out. So we use the aspiration method to get it out. So as I said before, every organ has a sound. So the lungs have a particular affiliation to the sound. Or if you want a louder sound, it would be zzz. Okay? So if you want to try that, just breathing here, just make the sound like a S sound. You just start to relax, you exhale the air, you'll feel it in your chest. Inhale, and I make the zzz. So you can say which one feels stronger, which one takes more out, right? In general, the stronger sound takes more energy out, is a stronger vacuuming out of your lungs, you can say. Aspiration, it vacuums out the organ that you focus on. So it's important that you focus on the lungs and that you breathe in and out. And when you exhale the sound, you're removing grief or disease or any kind of toxins that might be into the lungs. So that's the mind. The mind should focus on just on very simple way, without doing any more than that. And the breathing that we did, okay, but now we're doing aspiration. So it's still the same kind of breathing, but now we're focusing on making a sound. So one of the things you have to remember is that when you make a sound, you're taking a lot of energy out, so you shouldn't do more than 6 sounds, otherwise you get very tired. And if you get tired after 3, you should stop after 3. Don't force it, okay, because they are very strong and they remove a lot of energy. So let's just try 3 to begin with, all right? Because I don't want to tax anybody's system. And if your lungs are weak, you shouldn't do any sound at all. Okay, so it's only if you have excess grief in the lungs or some kind of disease that you want to get rid of. All right. So I'm going to bring the hands up again. This will be your inhale, exhale, inhale. Through the nose. Exhale with the lips slightly open. And bring your hands in front and down to the dantian. Yes? So it feels different than just the normal breathing that we did earlier. Now we're taking a lot of energy out of the lungs. Okay? So if you have a very strong negative energies, like you experience a lot of grief, maybe someone you love pass away or something like that, sometimes you might want to make more sound. But listen to your body. Your body will tell you what feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it feels good, you can do more. Let's just try one of the stronger sounds, just one, and see if you think it's too strong or if you think it feels good for you, right? Breathe in. Now breathe normally. And down. How was that?
It's hard.
Oh yeah, it feels harder, yeah. So most people's lungs aren't in excess, and in the majority of time, in fact, they tend to be a little on the weaker side. So you have to be careful that you don't do too many and drain too much energy out. So the idea is if you purge first, remember the rule, purge, tonify, regulate. If you do your sound first and then do the remainder of your exercises with a normal breathing or a tonic breath, you can bring energy back in that's clean. So you get rid of the old and you bring in the new. So when you're using a tonic breath, okay, that means you're bringing a lot of energy in, and we use color to tonify. If we have a lot of deficiencies, then we want to use color. So if your lungs are weak, instead of exhaling energy out, we would inhale white and fill the lungs on the inhale, filling up the lungs with the white light or a white color. Okay? So let's just try the tonic breath here. So again, same exercise with the body, same breathing, but this time you're not going to focus on the exhale. You're going to focus on inhaling white, in, down, fill up your lungs, and then the exhale is normal. You don't need to focus on anything. You're just going to keep filling your lungs. Okay? And down. Feel a little different that time?
That's interesting.
Everyone is different, right? You might have noticed you're breathing up more into the chest now because your concentration is there. Yeah, your concentration is there. So that's what, to tonify, you'll bring more energy into the lungs. Whereas if you just do the normal one with the regular breathing, when you fill this up, it's just natural breathing. It's not, it's still stimulating the lungs, but not as much. So that's how we use a kind of prescription to help people. If they have too much, we will get them to exhale the sound out of the lung, or if they need more energy, we can get them to breathe in energy into the lung. So you don't have to do too many of them, but if you want to play with them, I'd suggest doing a few, and start with the purging, then do tonifying, and then do the remainder of your moves with just the natural breathing, and don't manipulate it, right? Just breathe in like we did the first time. So you can do up to 20, but you should start with 10, right? Don't overtax yourself. Let your body get used to it because they're very strong, okay? So far so good?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the lungs exercise, and then that one comes after the beating and drumming of the qi. So we have the Jing Lo, which is the cleansing, throwing the energy out front and back. We have a 1 to 4 count, which is filling up, tonification of the whole body in general, right? 1 is fun, 2 is shu, 3 is tree, 4 is core, okay? That's tonification. And then we have the beating and drumming of the qi, okay, for the 5 yang organs. And now we started with 1 yin organ, which is the lungs. So we have the lung exercise. Either natural deep abdominal breathing, sounding with aspiration to remove toxins, or bringing in the light to tonify the lungs, to bring in lots of energy and strengthen them up. 10, and then I think we should do like either maybe 3 purges, then 3 tonifications, and then just 1 normal breath, something like that. Or if you want to do more, you can do more normal breaths, but don't do too many if you're mixing it up like that. But in general, the most of your practice should be normal, deep abdominal breathing. When you finish that, okay, you finish that, the last thing that you're going to do is you're pulling down the energy to the dantian. Yeah. And that's a whole complete practice up to here. So we purged the yang, we tonified the yin organ, and the last thing that we'll be looking at is a regulatory exercise along with this one, but it's kind of important that you do that after you're doing these exercises, and I'll tell you why in the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you.